Ah, now we're here live. It is about to unveil all of the things that can happen during a world championship fight in the sport of boxing. We're going to get into the Devin Haney fight versus George Ferocious Kambosos. And before we get going, special shouts out to our sponsors, Jab Juice, who are taking the combat world and elevating the brand of it on an entirely different level, making sure that they take the athletes, the coaches, and the gym owners and help provide their branding across the social media platform and giving them a voice in the matter at the exact same time. So, special shouts out to Jab Juice for sponsoring this show, the mics, the lights, the total action. Now let's get into some serious stuff when it comes down to the fight show and how we really get into the behind the scenes of the sport of boxing. Prediction is what we're going to come to, but we're going to show you how to go about coming to the total bottom line of how you predict fights at this level. And the first thing that we're going to do to get you prepared for that is to show you exactly the type of things that can come about, not only in the training camp, but the last 24 to 48 hours of a boxing match. So when you're doing your bets, let me explain. Do not just go out there and just start placing bets. Here are some of the things that can go wrong. First, it started off with the weight. George Kambosos got to a place where he was comfortable. And this happens. Let me explain something to you when it comes to making weight for a fighter. You have calibrated scales and you have scales that are just around. And I think George Kambosos in his camp weighed in that morning. They know what they do. And when you get to the event, the next thing that happens is the scales, they kind of act how they want to act. They're supposed to be calibrated, which I'm sure they were. It's just the ones that are in the hotel room are not on the same metric system. All right. So that can happen. He had to go and spit out, I guess it was 10 grams or something like that. It's more embarrassing than anything. George Kambosos is a ferocious training athlete. If he would have known he was off weight when he did it, he would have done extra. So let's see. These things that happen like this are a part of what comes blindsiding you. I always explain to you as my boxing audience and for the coaches and the trainers who are bringing up fighters right now, we got guys that are heading in towards the top 25, the top 15, and it gets real. What you got to learn about this sport though is the things that are going to get you are not the things that you know. It's the stuff that happens that you don't see coming and that you're not aware of. Hence, the same thing that happened last week with Rolly versus Tank. Tank came in and Rolly was braggadocious. You heard it, super braggadocious. I hit hard. I do this, but you never found and been in the ring against a guy inside of the fight night that understood how to do all that and has the dexterity to handle your punches. And so not only did he knock Rolly out, but he knocked him out going backwards without even having all of his power in the shot. Hence is why you understand in boxing, it's not about power. It's about placement, timing, and hiding your punch and knowing how to counter a guy when they least expect it. Being on the ropes, leaning back, pivoting outside. Once he hit him with the shot and knocked him out, he pivoted out, as I spoke to next Thursday. We're doing a film study, so stay tuned and keep it locked there. I'm going to give you guys a second to give you a shout out. We got my people here. What's up, Daniel? Friend, good afternoon. I greet you from Hama, LA. What's up? Welcome. It's good to see you in the building. Special shouts out to you out in LA. And let me see who else. And make sure you let us know where you run, where you watching from. Haney free money. That's free money. I want to explain, but I got a little segment. What happened in part 2 of the saga that you might find interesting. So I'm about to light that up in 30 seconds, but I got to cue it up. Sometimes things are happening in the sport of boxing that can throw you off, and that's why you must realize that you have to have more internal fortitude than attributes, speed, power, because there are things that are going to hit you from a direction that you're not really going to see coming. And that's what you see in this fight. Devin Haney's father wasn't able to make it over from the US. And so we call that the plot, not making weight, and father being kept in the US until the 11th hour. Like in the past 12 hours, his father was able to make it. And so here's the scene. I'll step out of the screen. You guys check this out and tell me what your thoughts are.
Kambosos in trouble. Kambosos is in trouble, man. That's what I think. The gym at. You doing? What's that, man? How you doing?
His father's arriving at the hotel. He hadn't seen him in a while.
He in trouble. He in trouble.
It's like a dream, man. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I had to do like go sign some stuff to petition to get him here, and I didn't think that it would work. Honestly, but I asked him. I asked my lawyer. I said, "You think this is gonna work?" He said, "No, but it's worth a try," and it worked.
Your hair's been looking good though. Full like that.
You see what I'm saying? You gotta be prepared and you gotta be ready for the unexpected. And if that's not the case, what'll happen is you'll be caught out here on Quiz Street. So it's just it's an amazing thing, this sport of boxing. A lot of you are from the inside and outside, but I want you to understand the fiber of this guy who now Kambosos is becoming a mega star using his pure fan appeal, the DNA of a pure killer in the ring. And the first thing that comes to mind is the consistency that he says, I love to fight. And he means it. Even Devin Haney has been on record in the past 24 hours saying, man, you love to fight. He said it repeatedly because he wants you to realize one thing. I'm from the old school. I'm a throwback fighter. Take a minute and check in and let me see where you guys are watching from. Who we got here? Fiji in the building. Boy, that's what's up. Let me say your name. Simi. Welcome, Simi, to the Fight Show. Good to see you on board, brother. Haney. Sean Showtime. Haney about the dog welcome. This Showtime from Cleveland, Ohio. Showtime, special shouts out to you from Cleveland, Ohio. What is it that you do? I see you got a hot thumbnail there. You must be doing something good out there. Special shouts out to you. Give me a drop in. Let me see my man, Ian Hudson. You ain't related to Ian Smith, are you, brother? He's from the UK. Special shouts out, mate. The UK always representing. When it's time to fight, the UK is in the house. Anthony from Australia. Hook up with my man, Coach Paul from Paulie's Boxing. If you like boxing, pull up Paulie's Boxing. Go over there and get you some beginner training. Get yourself on track, brother. Let me see who else is in there. We got my man, Mr. Nixon from Washington, D.C. All right. That is the straight military hood. Yo, I went to the White House, man. This is when Trump was there. And you're talking about a political town. You have never seen politics until you've been to DC. Like, it is real. I mean, DC is about that politic life. I mean, they pick it. I mean, it is real. Like, those are gangsters when it comes down to politics over there. So special shouts out to you, my man, Mr. Nixon. Good to see you, brother. Let me see. Link, Kambosos fan. Yeah, Kambosos is a Bill Haney. Link, Kambosos fan. All right, Bill Haney. That's Kambosos. That's Kambosos. I mean, that's Haney's dad. Special shouts out to you. Best of luck today. You guys are doing big things out here. Look at YouTube chiming in. Let me see what else he said. F Bill. Let me see. Oh yeah, no thanks for the shout out for the shout X shout Ian. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks back to you, brother. Link from Cambo here. All right, boy, YouTube's in the building. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of what Kambosos was talking about. And one thing Kambosos believes in is the study of reading and learning. And so this is when we were going to send him the book, and he was receiving it. And this was a conversation that we had about his DNA. Take a listen and listen to the different fiber this guy is built of. Check it
Word
out.
on that one. If you're gonna send that book out to me, I'm
there's
not
no
gonna.
doubt.
I'm not gonna until the contract is signed. Obviously, the week
Yeah,
of the fight, that's
Yeah.
when I'm gonna open up. That's when I'm gonna.
yeah.
You know, that will become my my Bible.
Ritual.
It's mental warfare. It's
mental warfare.
It's mental warfare. As much as physically you want to be strong, you want to be this. Look,
Yeah.
physical is extremely important, but mentally, if your mental warfare is in there and you haven't visualized, I mean, what you can do and visualize winning,
Yeah.
and not only winning, but the strategy and every step of how you're gonna win this fight and what happens if this doesn't work. What do I do in this situation? You got to think of so many.
People don't realize how much a guy like that uses his mind opposed to his just fisticuffs. And that's what separates George Kambosos. And that's why a lot of cats won't see him coming. Like, this kid really is a real complete package. He's a boxer punching. And the reason why I still say he's a boxer puncher, because he puts a lot of emphasis on throwing punches hard, but he can throw them in volume. And when you fighting someone like Haney, like, he's very good with guys who just throw pot shots. What is that? One shot, boom, like Roy Jones used to do towards the end of his career. It was one shot and that's it. Now, he was a master at it. He could boom, boom, and he'd be out and pop, 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 hit you with 4 or 5 on the turn where he can't get countered. That's one of the secrets, Roy Jones, with his masterful boxing. Kambosos is a guy that will hit you with 6 hard shots, stay fast, because he used to be on the show. He broke down that he was an actual fat kid. He was 134 pounds when he was like 12 years old. And anybody knows you're not even supposed to be over 100 pounds, but he was overweight. He was 10. He was 10. And with that being said, he went to the gym and started losing weight. So you got to think, this guy's a big guy inside of a small looking frame. And he's 5'9", and hand speed, like, that's unbelievable. I mean, he got that Pacquiao hand speed. Pay close attention. And so when you see a guy like that, you underestimate what he actually truly bringing. And the reality is, he can really throw hands. And if you're not, typically a boxer can minimize what a guy throws. If you go back to Bernard Hopkins, when he fought Joe Calzaghe, Bernard controlled the early rounds because he countered him and put him down in like the second round. After that, Joe Calzaghe came back with his volume punching. Now, Joe wasn't a hard puncher until he wanted to punch you hard, and he can hit hard. So that's what I see when I see George Kambosos. He throws punches and bunches, which is the kryptonite for a pure boxer, unless the boxer really, really is on his wheels and really setting to throw punches in between those softer punches that will send a message. So when you look at this kid in Kambosos, he has the antidote to beat a guy with that kind of style. Vice versa. Also, Haney is a savage when it comes down to turning it up when people least expect it. All right. So the reality is this. I'm about to pull up some of you guys and see what you guys are dropping in the comment boxes. My man is saying, it's Booyaka Booyaka. We got Fresca from California, Fresno, California. What's up, Jesse? Welcome to the Fight Show, brother. It's good to see you, man. Cali's in the building. You go to a boxing gym, you a fan, or you actually involved in the thing? We also brought Greg in from the last show. Let me see. Sean Showtime. I'm a boxing fan since I was 3. I did some amateur boxing for a while. I do comedy and have trucking company, bro. I got to keep working. This child support killing me. Hey man, keep working, champ. It's gonna come together. Remember this: if you're gonna work, don't work hours for dollars. Make sure that you learn how to get that capital working for you. You wanna jump on board? Connect with the people over at jabjuice.com. Jabjuice.com. If you're trying to flip that lifestyle, we'll show you how to turn it around in overnight. All right. Here's my man. School of Boxing's in the building. Paul Roberts should be at the fight right now, at least on the way. One of my guys, Top Trainer U, one of the coaches out here in Australia. So if you're out here in Australia, make sure Paulie's Boxing is in the building. To all of the 266,000 on his page, the 30 over here on YouTube, special shouts out to you. Check out my man, Paulie's Boxing. If you're in that neck of the woods, doing good things, making sure that the people are following the process that we really groom our guys to have over here in the School of Boxing. Master Boxing's in the building. Special shouts out to all of you for taking the time to get ready for the fight. And you know we got to get into some predictions because I'm giving you all of the pros and the cons to let you know what it will take for a guy like Kambosos to win a fight like this. He has to swarm Devin. He has to beat him to the spot that Devin actually wants to go. What does that mean? That means once he hides behind that jab, Devin is long. He had a three-inch reach advantage. When a guy has a longer reach advantage and throws a jab at you, you simply go south and go under that jab. All right? And if you're going to come back up, standing on the angle, you roll the right hand because it's coming. And then you counter up top, right, left. All right? 2, 3. Straight right hand, wipe the nose with the left hook, body, slide around, swim without getting wet, like the greatest used to say it. Nassim Richardson, one of the most technical cornermen to ever lace him up, to ever get down when working the corner. So special shouts out to him. He's resting in peace. And his admirers, the people that supported him and those guys on that journey. He's from my mentor's neck of the woods in Philly. Nothing but love for that brother. He was a big addition to the game. I see my man got some you got some links. Did you just compare Dude to Roy? No, I didn't compare him to Roy. Roy used to throw pot shots. So that was my point. So be careful when you come in that master boxing. I did this for real. We sent guys down to help Roy Jones in camp. Julius Fogel, all of these guys that we used. Look, man, we do it at the highest of level. But Roy Jones, there are guys who are boxing, using pieces and bits of things that he uses. But pot shotting is nothing new, and Roy didn't invent it, but he definitely made it special. Floyd didn't invent the Philly shell or the rolling shoulder, but he made it look special being in that box. James Toney didn't invent the rolling shoulder. You got guys that was doing that 50, 60 years ago in Jersey Joe Walcott and the Camden Buzzsaw, but he mastered it. It's all about understanding the history of boxing and not getting caught up with these guys who are new. Roy Jones did his thing, but he also picked and took things from guys who came before him. So check yourself when you're coming up here and talking boxing. I'm not 30 years in, I'm third generation. So you're not talking to some talking head, one of these goofy YouTube channels, man. You're talking to somebody with lineage. And we educate the boxing game. So that's why I'm giving you the information that you can run with. And if you're going to go out here and place bets, this is a handicapping show. I worked for handicappers on ESPN, The Insider, for years, okay? I did that. Iceman John Scully, Johnny Wilder, Scott Van Pelt. That's my panel, okay? So understand, I did it at the highest level to make sure that people didn't understand one thing about sports. It's more to it than meets your eye. That's why you have handicappers, all right? So that's kind of what it is, man. George Kambosos, let me see. I want Kambosos as I like underdog to win. He come on strong. I don't see him as an underdog. I don't know what George Kambosos you talking about, but George Kambosos just beat Teofimo Lopez in one of the most epic fights you will ever want to see, let alone saw. I don't really see him as an underdog. I think he throws enough combination punches. He's been in training camps with guys like Manny Pacquiao, so he understands how training at the highest level is. He also trains down here in Davie, which is in Miami, right? So his coach and are doing amazing things. You got high level competition to train with all the time, and that's why guys who come in from cities who are smaller towns, they come into the sport and they don't quite turn it over when it's really their opportunity. They mess around and they don't deliver because they didn't get the necessary work when they got in that camp. Because I always say this: if you're the best guy in the gym, you're at the wrong gym. Because when you come into the boxing game and you boxing against guys who are at the highest level, you need constant repetition because your body, you have to get used to the punches. You have to be, the reflexes have to go to a level that you won't get at lower levels. And then the dexterity has to be implemented, and that has to, your DNA changes. All right. And then your internal fortitude has to be tested. That means you have to leave the gym more days than not questioning so you can come back and answer those questions. Those are the type things that prepare you for higher level fights. If that makes sense. Let me see. Haney wins. Let me see who you guys got in the comment boxes. You think Haney has enough boxing skills to keep off Kambosos over there in Aussie? Because it's a lot fighting away from the crib. I know Errol Spence had to do it when he went over and fought Kell Brook. Look, it's not an easy thing. Anthony Joshua came over here and fought Andy Ruiz, Madison Square Garden. The lights were bright and got knocked out. You get what I'm saying? It's not as easy as it appears. Now, we're talking about someone that has the ultimate pedigree when it comes down to being a fighter that's reliable and really has the absolute boxing cachet to do it. That's what I think about George Kambosos. That's what I think about Devin Haney. So all of you out there and you're watching this fight tonight, just understand one thing. I've done this. The pearls that I'm giving you, this is what I did when I worked with ESPN. These things are important that you know what can happen leading up to the fight. That's why I never call a fight unless I was on the record for working with ESPN. That's why I never called the fight until they were walking out. Other than that, closest thing to the weigh-in that I would do is as soon as they got off the scale, had their first stare down, you can take a lot away from that. But with this fight, after the fact, Devin Haney's father was able to enter the country of Australia last minute, the 11th hour, and that plays a part in your dopamine rush, which is the hormones that control your levels of excitement, and that you can't replace it. So this fight right here has all of the storylines. A star in Kambosos who's turning superstar over in Aussie. He's becoming a mega star like Conor McGregor level. He has the debonair stare. He loves to fight, and he knows how to carry his swag and not look soft. He's an absolute animal in that ring, and I can guarantee you this tonight. The fight is going to be an absolute hell of a fight. Round 9. Just remember I said that. Round 9. And that, my friends, is all I'll leave you with. Just make sure to tune in next week, because next week we're going to do a breakdown, a film study of last week's fight between Tank and his foe, Rolly Romero, and basically explain to you guys how to utilize knocking out someone going backwards, and at the same time, how to utilize boxing when you do allow yourself to get trapped on the ropes and set traps. And that film study is going to break you down, but you must be registered in order to do that. So go over to the School of Boxing group on Facebook or masterboxingllc.com and go up to the website and reserve yourself a spot by registering. And that's it. That's all I got over you guys over here on Instagram. I see you guys later, but my people over here at Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, continue blessings. Tonight, I'm picking, give me 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna write my name. Hold up, I gotta see my guy. He gotta say something. Calling this coach, as long as Kambosos doesn't put his head down and gets hit by Haney throwing his uppercut. Otherwise, Kambosos wins and a decision. Okay. That's my thinking. And yes, Kambosos is paying higher odds than Haney. Wife and I staying in same hotel as Haney, coach crew. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Just make sure when you approach them that you let them know that you're affiliated with Master Boxing. All right. All right. This is your lineage is from the top of the food chain, and we're talking about decades and generations. But continue blessings out there. Enjoy yourself at the fight. Make sure you tune in. We're doing the post fight, and until next time, continue blessings. Tonight, I'm choosing the purest fighter in boxing right now.